promise. The summer sun hung low in the sky, casting golden light across the white fence where Maya stood, her hands resting gently on the painted wood. She watched as Ethan walked toward her, the same easy stride she remembered from their childhood days. His light brown hair caught the afternoon glow, and for a moment, time seemed to fold in on itself. "Maya," he said, stopping a few feet away. His voice carried the warmth of recognition, but also something else. Uncertainty, perhaps. "Ethan," she smiled, her heart beating faster than she expected. "It's been a long time." 10 years, he replied, looking at the house behind her. "Your parents still have the place looking perfect." Maya glanced back at the white-framed windows and dark wooden siding. "Some things never change, I guess." They stood there in comfortable silence, the kind that only old friends can share. The neighborhood was quiet except for the distant sound of a lawnmower and the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. Maya had imagined this moment countless times since hearing Ethan was back in town, but now that he stood before her, the words she'd rehearsed seemed to slip away. "I heard you came back from Boston," she said finally. "How does it feel to be home?" Ethan shrugged, a slight smile playing at his lips. "Strange. Everything looks the same, but it all feels different somehow. Like I'm seeing it through different eyes." "That's what 10 years will do," Maya said softly. She tucked a strand of her long ombre hair behind her ear, a nervous habit she'd never quite outgrown. "We were just kids when you left." 18 isn't really kids, Ethan countered gently. "But it's not quite grown up either, is it?" Maya laughed, a sound that seemed to relax both of them. "No, I suppose not." The conversation drifted to easier topics. Ethan told her about his work in architectural design, the city life he'd grown accustomed to, the small apartment with a view of the harbor. Maya shared stories about her teaching job at the elementary school, the same one they'd both attended as children. She told him about her students, their funny questions and innocent wisdom, but beneath the surface of their words, something else stirred, an unspoken history, a memory that had lingered for a decade. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Maya found the courage to speak what had been on her mind since she learned of his return. "Do you remember the treehouse?" she asked, her voice quiet but steady. Ethan's expression shifted, his eyes meeting hers with a knowing look. "Of course I do. Your dad built it the summer we turned 12. We spent every day up there that summer," Maya continued, her fingers tracing patterns on the fence rail. "We thought we were so grown up, making plans for our futures. We were going to travel the world together," Ethan said, a nostalgic smile crossing his face. "You wanted to see the northern lights. I wanted to climb mountains in Nepal. And you promised you'd take me to see the cherry blossoms in Japan," Maya added. The air between them grew heavier with the weight of unspoken words. Maya took a slow breath, her heart hammering in her chest. This was the moment. If she didn't say it now, she might never find the courage again. "You promised something else too," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan was quiet for a long moment. His gaze dropped to the fence between them, then back to her face. "I did," he admitted. Maya felt her throat tighten with emotion. "You promised to marry me when we were kids." The words hung in the air like delicate glass ornaments, beautiful and fragile. Ethan didn't look away, didn't laugh it off or dismiss it as childhood foolishness. Instead, he simply watched her, waiting. "We carved it into the treehouse wall," Maya continued, her voice stronger now. "June 15th, 2015. Ethan and Maya, forever. You said when we grew up, we'd get married and live in a house just like this one, with white windows and a big yard. I remember, Ethan said softly. Maya's fingers gripped the fence rail a little tighter. And then you left. You got that scholarship to Boston, and you left. And I understood. I really did. It was an amazing opportunity, and I wanted you to go, but, Ethan prompted gently. But I never stopped wondering, Maya finished. She looked directly into his eyes now, no longer hiding behind nervous gestures or casual conversation. I never stopped wondering if you remembered, if it meant anything, or if it was just something kids say. The silence that followed felt eternal. A bird called from somewhere in the trees. The lawnmower had stopped, and the neighborhood had settled into early evening quiet. Then Ethan asked the question that would change everything. Does that promise still count? Maya felt her breath catch. It was the last thing she expected him to say. She had prepared herself for gentle letdown, for the kind explanation that they'd been children, that life had taken them in different directions, that promises made at 12 couldn't possibly hold weight at 28. What? She whispered. Ethan stepped closer to the fence, his expression serious but tender. I'm asking if it still counts, Maya, because I've thought about you every single day for 10 years. I've dated other people, tried to move on, tried to convince myself that what we had was just childhood friendship. But it wasn't, not for me. Maya felt tears prick her eyes. Ethan and I came back here, he continued, his voice thick with emotion, not just because of a job opportunity. I came back because this is where you are, because for 10 years, I've been trying to outrun a promise I made to a 12-year-old girl who became the standard by which I measured everyone else. I don't know what to say, Maya managed, her voice breaking. Then don't say anything yet, Ethan replied. He reached across the fence, his hand open and waiting. Just answer one question. Do you still feel it too? Even after all this time? Maya looked at his outstretched hand, then back at his face. She saw the boy she'd known, but also the man he'd become. She saw summer days in the treehouse and lonely nights wondering what might have been. She saw a promise made in innocence that had somehow survived a decade of distance and doubt. Slowly, she placed her hand in his. Yes, she whispered. I still feel it too. Ethan's smile was like sunrise breaking through darkness. He squeezed her hand gently, his thumb tracing soft circles on her skin. Then maybe, he said, his voice warm with hope and possibility, just maybe. 12-year-old us knew something 28-year-old us forgot. That some promises are worth keeping, that some connections run deeper than time or distance, that some people are meant to find their way back to each other. Maya laughed through her tears, feeling a weight she'd carried for years finally lift from her shoulders. The summer evening wrapped around them like a blessing, and for the first time in 10 years, the future felt clear and bright and full of promise. So what do we do now? She asked. Ethan grinned. Well, I still owe you a trip to see the Northern Lights. Maybe we start there. Maybe we do, Maya agreed, her heart soaring. And there, by the white fence as the sun set on their reunion, two promises met. One made long ago by children dreaming of forever, and one being made right now by two people brave enough to believe that some childhood dreams are worth keeping.